Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I want to take a look at the 1911. You can't talk about 1911 without talking about the history of a 1911. They've been around for over 100 years, were proven on the battlefield. In real life, they're great handguns and they are beautiful. John Browning did a great job when he developed this handgun, and over the years people have just made them even better, trying to do additional looks to them, colors, hammers, you name it. You can personalize them quite a bit. But today I want to look at specifically the Kimber. This is the Stainless TLE II, and this is a beautiful handgun. I've owned quite a few different 1911s over the years, whether it be Taurus or Citadel, I think Rock Island. This is the nicest one, if you will, that I've had, so I wanted to do a review of it. But I probably will. This is the only one I own right now. I've sold the other ones over in the past. But I probably will go back and probably get a Taurus again. I really enjoyed having them. I've had two of them in the past, and they have worked flawlessly for me. They are grunt guns. They're not a thing of beauty, except for the beauty of the 1911. But it is a hardworking handgun, to say the least. But this one is no slouch, and this one is also very pretty. It is done really nice. If we look at it on the table, you'll see a lot closer some of the finish on it. But stick around, we'll take a look at it a little closer. We'll go through the specs and some of the other things about the gun. All right, so let's take a little closer look at the Kimber Stainless TLE II. This is an all stainless gun. Let's go over some quick dimensions. It's a standard 1911, so it's 5.25 inches tall. It is about 38 ounces unloaded, according to the Kimber website. Overall length is 8.7 inches, and it's a 7-round capacity. Obviously, with aftermarket magazines, you can get some larger mags. This is a 16-pound recoil spring in here. It's pretty hefty, but it works well. It has a full-length guide rod, as you can see. The barrel is a 5-inch barrel, and it's a match-grade stainless steel with a stainless steel bushing, which is a very nice bushing. It's all stainless steel. The frame and slide are all stainless. It's a matte stainless finish. Beautiful gun though. The front strap is checkered with some heavy checkering actually. It's not light. It's actually will really dig you. So I mean, it's going to hold your hand on there very nicely. The mainspring housing though it's checkered and pretty aggressively as well. I don't know the exact checker pattern number, but the only thing, it's a plastic handspring or mainspring housing, excuse me, but it is checkered as well. The sights are 3-dot tritium sights, so they are night sights out of the box, which is very nice, and they work very well. I've used them in the dark. I don't know how well we can see them on here, but they are 3-dot standard tritium sights. The grips, now on the site it's listed as G10 grips. I've had this for a while, so maybe they've changed this. These are pretty much just rubber grips. They are checkered very nicely though, and they are very sticky, but they're not G10 grips as listed on the site. That may have changed since I purchased this. The trigger is aluminum as well. They call it a match grade trigger, and it's about 4 to 5 pounds out of the box. It is skeletonized there a little bit with some of the weight reducing. But it is a very heavy gun. Make no bones about it. This is a heavy handgun. The trigger, again, there is some, I don't know how well you can see it, there is some texturing on the inside of that trigger face. See if I can get in there a little bit better. There you go. So it does have a little texturing on the front. It's not just flat. It gives you a little grip on there, which is actually something I really like. As far as the fit and finish, this is a beautiful handgun. The fit and finish is great. All the edges have been slimmed down. They're very clean. I will say, with one exception, the edge of the mag well here is pretty sharp, and I know I've seen that in other 1911s as well, but it is a little, it'll catch you. It's pretty sharp there right on the corner. But as far as everything fitting together, it's fit very nicely. It's very tight. They say it's hand fitted, so it's really nice. The ejection port is beveled a little bit or flared, not like you're going to see. I mean, it's kind of a standard bevel that you're going to get on a lot of magwells. They're not you know, wide mag wells where you can aftermarket with the mainspring housing, with the making it wider, but it does what it's supposed to do. It does have front slide serrations here as well as the rear slide serrations, which I really like. Nothing more than I just like them. They are useful though for press checks, things like that. I don't use them very often, but I just like the look of them. This is a Series 80 pistol. So if you're looking at a Series 70 versus Series 80, this is a Series 80. I think most Kimber handguns are Series 80 at this point. They may have a couple that are Series 70. It does have an extended mag release from what I can tell. It is pretty big. Sticks out there pretty well. It's very firm, I'll tell you that. But it works very well. I've never had any issues with it at all. And the hammer is also skeletonized. You know, one thing Kimber's always been kind of talked about is using MIM parts, metal injected molded parts. I can't really tell if these are or not. Looking at the slide lock and the safety, they very well could be. They look and match the rest of the stainless very nicely. So I can't tell you really if there's a difference if it's MIM parts or not. But I will say, as far as MIM parts go, I've never had a problem with them. I've never had anything break on me. But that's just my experience. I'm sure other people have. Some of the cons that I find, at least with this is a nice handgun, don't get me wrong. But I do have some things about it that I think are a little bit good and bad. It really depends on who you are and what you like. But I can tell you for myself, I never like these slanted sights on the front. I prefer something with a ridge, something that if I needed it, I could plant it on something, a belt, a back of a shoe, something to really pull on that. I know they're nice, don't get me wrong, these are beautiful sights, but just something for me, I prefer to have something, a little bit of a wall that I can use. You can slant it some, but leave a little wall there, something I can use to rack a slide off of. The plastic mainspring housing out of the whole thing, why you go with plastic, I don't know, but there it is, it's plastic. I think if you're going to do the whole gun in stainless steel and really nice aluminum and do it really well and then put a plastic mainspring housing on it, I don't know. Does it work? Absolutely. Are there a lot of plastic mainspring housings out there? Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just, I find it odd that you make an entire gun this way and put a plastic piece on the back. This does only have a single side safety. So if you're looking for left-handed, there may be some aftermarket that you can put on there, but it does only come for right-handed. The magwell, I wouldn't say it's a con. It's pretty much what comes with most 1911s nowadays, is just that little beveled. Again, the only issue I have is that sharp edge that's there to really catch you. Nothing you can't knock off a little file, but one of those things that when you do everything so nicely on the handgun, it's that one little thing that you know people are going to catch. The other thing is the rubber G10 or rubber grips that this came with versus the G10. Now, I like the G10 grips, and that's what I would prefer to go with. These are sticky grips. They have very well, they have a lot of grip to them, so your hand's not going to slide off. The only issue I've had is because they're rubber, when it gets wet or your hands start to get sweaty, you're going to get, this is going to become a little more slippery. Whereas the G10, when they're wet, they're not as slippery as you have with just a rubber grip. But all in all, they work just fine, but the G10s are much nicer grips. But all in all, it's a very nice package. I've shot quite a few hundred rounds through this, have had no problems with it. I know people are either Kimber lovers or Kimber haters. I can tell you that I enjoy this gun a lot. I looked for it for a while. Again, if you've seen some of my other videos, I enjoy the stainless. I do love blued guns as well, but the pretty guns I like in stainless. They look very nice. But no doubt, this is a very nice handgun. Kimber did a great job with it, and I have no complaints with it whatsoever. Okay, so I hope you liked the review on the Kimber Stainless TLE II. There's some really nice things about this gun that I like, and there's a few downsides to it, but the downsides are really more what you feel you want out of a handgun. they're not bad. There's nothing wrong with them. They're just things that I wish were better on it. Nothing that I can't change myself, but just my thoughts on the gun. If you have any comments or you have questions about them, put in the comments below. If you've got one or you're familiar with them and you have other things that I didn't mention, please put them in the comments below. Look forward to hearing from everybody, and until we see you again, happy shooting, and we'll talk to you again soon.